Okay, so today got a deck video about Waki the Younger. So what this is your traditional burn deck, but we do have a couple other things because what Waki says on him is he's a 5 mana, which is a lot for a burn deck, but he's going to come in at the late game if it gets to it. He's reach, lifelink 3/3, and if another source you control would deal non-combat damage, that non-combat damage is key, to a permanent or player, so your opponent, it deals that much damage plus 1 to that permanent or player instead. And then it also has this little gutter snipe style effect, which is whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Waki the Younger deals 2 damage to any target, which means that it can also kill other creatures and stuff like that that are in the way, which is nice.
And importantly, gain you life too, right? That's kind of what separates this from like what Black Waltz number 3 is the new one.
Yep, which is just a gutter snipe for 4 mana, which is definitely a good option in this deck. But right now we're staying with Waki the Younger, which I do want to note this Waki may look a little weird. It's because I could not find my copy of Waki when we were about to film this, so this is currently a proxy.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it too much. It'll be mostly just sitting up in the top corner.
Yeah. It's 5 mana.
Yep. And then, so what we're going to be starting with is every single deal damage spell that I deemed good enough, and a couple ones that are a little bit more awkward, which I'll get to in a second.
Yeah, you can't play everyone because some of them are bad.
Yep. So we got traditional like Lightning Bolt, Shard Volley, Skewer the Critics, Chain Lightning, Rift Bolt, Galvanic Blast, and let's see, Lava Spike, which are all just, these will be 1 mana and they will deal 3 damage or more.
Yeah, anything that says player is pretty much probably in your deck.
And then we also got Bump in the Night in there too, which is a nice little sick one.
Sick.
Then we got like our kind of extra ones that you see in more legacy formats like Flame Rift and Tyrant Scorn. These will both be 2 mana deal 4, which is really nice.
I always forget that Tyrant Scorn exists.
Yep. And then Fire Blast here, which is completely free. Real good stuff. Then what we got here is Searing Blaze, which can take out creatures and also deal just 3 straight up damage. And then we got our couple of weirder ones, which is 2 mana deal 3, gain 3 for Sovereign's Bite, which is just because it's one of the last ones to finally get in. Firebolt, which is just a shock at sorcery speed, but has this flashback, which can be nice if you're trying to say like Waki on turn 5, turn 6, you can flashback the Firebolt you cast way back earlier in the game, get another set of value out of it.
You can also like 3-for-1 people with this, technically.
Yep. And then you got Needle Drop here, which is going to just be nice to draw through cards, and Lava Dart for basically the same reason of being 2 cards in 1. And you can also go Waki on turn 5, Lava Dart or Fire Blast, because you can play those for effectively free, which is makes Waki a lot nicer because you don't have to be worried about the mana. Then these weird ones that I set aside are Curse of the Pierced Heart, which is a 2 mana enchantment.
Yeah, fans of Pauper will know this is a sideboard card.
Yeah.
We're playing in the main board because it works with Waki.
It does work with Waki.
So it shocks them every...
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
And it's just good there. And then Blightning is just a nice, fun little card that I put in the very last slot of the deck to deal 3 and make my opponent discard 2. Because it's cool. It's Blightning.
Yeah.
Then...
Cascade into a Pilbara Elf. Can't do that.
No. Then what I got here next is our series of Gutter Snipe-like effects, which I specifically was not able to find a Gutter Snipe in time, so we don't have one, but that should be fine. We got Thermoalchemist, 0/3, tap, deal 1 damage to an opponent, untaps whenever you cast an instant or sorcery. So that one's specifically instant or sorcery. We won't get anything off like our artifacts and enchantments that we have. Same for Erebor Flamesmith. It's a 2/1 instead, but it's still just doing 1 damage per spell. Then we got Kestic Flame Breather, which is on the better side because it says non-creature spell and is a 1/3. Black Mage's Rod, which is the new one and probably the best one because it itself is a non-creature spell, and you can move it around if you get to the late game and have a bunch of mana. And Firebrand Archer, which is effectively Erebor Flamesmith, but strictly better because it says non-creature rather than instant or sorcery. Yeah,
you said it matters, but it doesn't matter like a huge...
No, but it's like if I play my Black Mage's Rod, I'd rather get a damage than get nothing.
It matters, but they're effectively... This is a way of just getting multiple copies of the same card in your deck.
Play as many as possible at 2 mana, and then Gutter Snipe could probably also get in.
Okay.
Next, what I got for you here are just 1 mana good creatures, and then a couple 2 mana value creatures too. So we got Clockwork Percussionist coming down on 1, getting in. Then if they ever need to block it, you're getting a card back. Perfect thing. Goblin Tomb Raider. We got it here because it's a 2/2 with haste. It's like the Goblin Guide of this format, and I'm running the requisite artifact lands and a couple other side things that make blood so that it can come in. And then we got Gitu Lava Runner, which is never going to come in on turn 1 attacking, but can come in late game and just be a little annoying guy that maybe your opponent wasn't expecting. And Reckless Lackey, another just value 1/2 haste that can sack off to draw a card and create a treasure, which, say on turn 3 I have nothing good to do, I could possibly get Waki out on turn 4.
And then, it also makes an artifact for Tomb Raider.
Yeah. And then we got 2 little guys that deal non-combat damage, which are Viashino Pyromancer, which is a nice card from M19, love playing random standard wizards. It's a 2/1. It just shoots your opponent in the face for 2 because there are no planeswalkers in this format. But it comes out swinging, which is good. And then we got Keldon Marauder, 2 mana, 3/3, which is real good body. And then when ETBs or leaves, it deals 1 to the opponent.
Fading.
Vanishing. Yep. So it'll only be on the board for about 2 turns, and then it'll go away.
Yeah.
But hopefully it'll get its value out by swinging in and possibly trading with something before that happens.
And this is the card that you said you would cut for Gutter Snipe.
Yeah, that's the card that would become Gutter Snipe.
The Keldon Marauders.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But it's a classic.
It is a classic. It's also 4-leaf.
Yep. Then we got the draw spell package, so we got probably the best one because it deals damage, grab the prize, discard a card, draw 2. And then as long as it wasn't a land you discarded, it's dealing 2 damage.
Mm-hmm.
That'll also synergize with a couple cards we'll get to later, which have Madness. Same for Highway Robbery here, which you can suspend with Plot so that you're playing it for free in the same turn as Waki.
Yeah, you can also sacrifice a land for Highway Robbery, right? You don't have to discard a card.
Yep. Yeah, so once you're you can play Waki for 5 mana, sack a land,
Mm-hmm.
and then you don't have to discard any of your cards to play it, so you can do some combos with that.
Neat.
Then we got a newer card from Tarkir Dragonstorm. It is Stormshriek Feral. What this is it's most of the time just going to be discard a card, draw 2 cards, so Tormenting Voice that you'll keep getting throughout the game. But say you're on turn 6, 7, this is now a burn spell. You can pay 5 mana to play it, 2 mana to pump it. You're dealing 4 to your opponent with just the card you happen to top deck.
Yeah, and I think this is the biggest difference between other burn decks in our format and other burn decks in Pauper, is your deck can go long and still operate. If you get to turn 7 against regular Pauper with a burn deck, they're just dead. Here you can play this, or you play this, or pump mana this. You have a lot to do with your mana, which is neat.
And then I got a couple other draw spells in Reckless Impulse and Night's Whisper. Both of those are just plussing 2, and that's kind of all they do. Next, we'll get onto the Madness package, which those couple of discardy spells that I just showed synergize with, which is Faithless Looting as a provider for that, Alms of the Vein, which gets value, Vampire's Kiss, which does damage and creates blood, which will help you get rid of that madness, Voldaren Epicure, which is another 1-drop creature. You'd probably just be playing it even if you didn't have the madness cards, because it does deal the damage cycle.
It's just very good.
And then Fiery Timber, which can be discarded to any of these madness effects as well, because it's just another bolt. These are just more bolts.
Yes.
They just have a couple of extra steps, and so putting the synergy around them wasn't too difficult. Then what we got here is our land package. So we have 3 artifact lands. The max, well, not the max you can run. You can also run the colorless one in Darksteel Citadel, but
you're not really interested in doing that.
Yeah, I need my color mana.
Yeah.
So we're not running that, but this will occasionally let us get that Goblin Tomb Raider out on turn 1.
And you're a different type of artifact deck, right? You're not trying to Pestermite, Pestermite, Frogmite, Mirror Enforcer people. You're just I want to turn on Galvanic Blast.
Yep, and Goblin Tomb Raider, and that's it.
And
And then what I got next is Jagged Barrens and Bloodfell Caves, Razor Trap Forge. These are just value tap lands that one can come in untap sometimes, one does damage, one gains a life. Perfect, fine stuff. And then Rakdos Carnarium, which can bounce these 2 for value or just bounce land. One of the main reasons why I'm on Rakdos Carnarium actually is because I'm a little land light by comparison to some decks, and I need a 5-mana commander.
Yeah.
So just having this here means that if I hit it on turn 2 or 3, I don't feel as bad about having a 5-mana commander.
Yeah, I think these are, for me, very, very underplayed. But they just allow you to hit 3 mana on 3 a lot of the time. That's what the bounce lands do.
Yep, and now we're on my basics, which will be very skewed because, as you might have seen earlier, I don't run all that many black cards. I mainly run red cards. So I have 2 swamps, and then 3, 6, 9 mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is putting me on a total of, 18 lands? Yeah, that sounds right. And what that mainly is for is because on turn 1 I want to be playing a red card pretty much every time, and I don't have any double black cards. I did consider putting in Cornered by Black Mages from the new Final Fantasy set, but I cut it specifically because it has double black.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think in the Cormella deck tech that one of the first videos we did I was talking about how Snuff Out is in most black decks, not in yours, but it makes sense, right?
Yeah, I only run 2 swamps. Mm-hmm. I don't even run the non-basic swamps.
Yeah,
because I don't have that much black.
Or the mana cyclers too.
Yep. Well, yeah, because they're slow. I gotta be putting stuff out there, dealing damage to your face as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And that's for that. So we'll go onto the sideboard, which we're starting with what call my anti-control package, which is things that give me the Monarch, a Duress to look at their hand, and Red Elemental Blast and Pyroblast for counter spells. These are all just going to be if I'm playing against something that doesn't play many creatures, I want to get the Monarch down, start drawing cards that will give me more bird spells in hand to kill them. The rest will take out potential things that could like counter the biggest burn spell I have in my hand, so I can choose like to make sure that I get my best burn spells through. And then same goes for Red Elemental Blast, but these also have the upside of killing stuff like Tolarian Terror and Murmuring Mystic, which can be harder for me to deal with.
Yeah, it's like the most efficient answer to Murmuring Mystic in the format.
Yep, so it just works out real nice like that. Next, what I got here is just a couple pieces of hard removal that can go in if I'm going against similar things where they have big guys like Troll of Khazad-dûm coming down soon, and I need to get through them because most of my guys are very small. So I have Terminate, which can also kill the Guardian of the Guild Pact, which is nice if it gets like some enchantments that give lifelink on it and stuff like that. Same for Fanged Flames. And then Go for the Throat here is just the extra one piece. Like I'm just gonna, if I'm putting these in, cutting my worst burn spells, it's really easy.
It's pretty interchangeable too, because this could be a cast down if you don't have it, or they're the same card.
Yep.
Really.
Then next we get on to what is the anti-Go Wide, which is Tectonic Hazard and End the Festivities. The notable thing that's cool about them in this deck is they synergize with Waki. So these will actually be dealing 2 to all of your opponent's stuff if you have Waki out, and that is actually relevant.
And not your stuff.
Yep, and it doesn't hit any of my stuff. That's the big thing. It also deals 1 to the opponent, so it's still keeping the burn up.
Yep.
Then next what we have here is Anti-Artifact, which also includes Cast into Fire, which can be similar to End the Festivities with dealing 1 to each creature.
It's first time.
Well, 2 creatures, but
yes.
A lot of times that's most of what a board will be. And so we got Smash to Smithereens, which will also just be like a Searing Blaze kind of effect, shooting them right in the face. And Gorilla Shaman, which is more here for the decks that are value artifacting, so like things with a bunch of artifact lands as much as possible. So that if the game's going a little bit longer, I can just hurt their value. And it might be one of the more loose ones, but it's here. It's going to do stuff. Then I got 1 piece of Graveyard Hate because I felt like it would be bad to have none. And this one will draw me a card to another burn spell at worst if I need it.
The Black Ring Graveyard decks are so good in this format.
Yep. And then I have a Flaring Pain here in the sideboard for stuff that's running like we saw earlier, like Prismatic Strands and Fogs and that kind of thing. If I need to bring it in. Flaring Pain is a card that does a very specific thing, and you don't see much anywhere else.
You also have the sideboard space. You're not like...
Yep. Yeah, it's 15 card sideboards in a singleton format. You can afford to have some silver bullets. And that's it for that. Make sure you watch the match coming up and like, share, and subscribe. Good stuff.